it's appeared.
There you go.
Now we're off. Okay. So, okay, let me see. So if we look at Nephio in my suggestion is that my feeling of it is that in Nephio for our tree, really you're talking about whatever we have on about the 14th of June is what goes to give the released people a chance to get it out there and to get it out there and to get it finished, because if they actually release at the end of June, they're gonna we have to allow two weeks for things to settle in and whatever. But my feeling is that the Nephio core is okay. We're not seeing very many problems with that, So really, we have to focus on Porch. And just only three questions. One is, but the pretty big question. One is, what do we do with the triage list? What do we actually tackle in that, say, I guess 6-7 weeks that we have left? How big is the team we're likely to have? So, kind of putting people's feet to the flames a little bit here. And I think we're going to we have to. Okay, I know people. It isn't a situation that we're saying that if I say I'm going to be 50% from this until the 14th of June, that that there's a contract written up and that we'll have lawyers coming to see why people didn't do it. This is what it'd be good if you just got people's kind of idea of what they're probably likely to be able to be available for, and then what are we likely to realistically achieve off that list. So maybe the first thing I'll do is, even people in this room, how do you think you're fixed, as we'd say in Irish English, between this and the 14th of June to help out?
I'm all in.
Okay. So let's. So.
That's not really big one. So it's hard to say like how much time.
I know. Yeah. Okay. I guess it's Liam and Fikra. Because anyway.
It's definitely hard.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I will do some work regarding the big and so I think what we can do. Okay. What we can do is to split the issues into two categories. One is that it's a big problem, so most probably it will go into the rethink Porch, rewrite the whole thing from scratch, the long term. Okay, let's step back a little. So yesterday I had the feeling that basically everybody agreed that for release 3, maybe for release 4, we will use Porch. And in the meantime, in parallel, we will try to start to think what will be next. So we get some of the issues like, do we convert package revisions into CRs, or do we want to handle it as in the aggregated server? Things like that should be separated and go to the think over the whole thing, let's redesign category. And we have things like if you have repositories in 2 different namespaces, that they will serve the bad package revisions. So real bugs that just has to be fixed and not a big design change.
I usually use Excel, so excuse me if I'm a bit slow on this. But I mean, okay, I know this was the characterization that we did in Ericsson, and we really should have everybody go through this to see if that's, we should do the triage with everybody involved, and we'll try and do that in the meetings coming up. But if after that triage we come and we say that we have type of bug and possible fix release of, or retrievals when we thought we really should fix this, you're left with this list of things that really, even in today's system, we should try and fix. I mean, the high package approval time thing, where it's taking over an hour to get the NFs to come up, we really should take a look at that. I think, and it probably won't be easy. And if it's possible to do something before the middle of June, we should try and do something on that. I would have thought. Now, maybe then you might say, okay, well, you know, it's a very important thing. It's something we should have on our tree, but it's just too much work to do. Then we'll maybe have to leave it. But maybe some of these we can squeeze in. That would be one possible way we could go ahead.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's exactly the thinking that we had when we discussed. We don't want to invest in, you know, enhancements until we have a clear idea of where we're going. However, we have extremely like breaking issues right now, and I don't think we even need to look at the triage exactly to know what they are. One, as you said, there's the duration issue. It takes an inordinately long time even just to do one package, and we need to figure out what's going on there. We have some ideas. Some people have looked at it. Hopefully it's something simple. I have a feeling it's a mix of a few different issues actually, and not just one. Exactly. Yeah. So there might be a low-hanging fruit bug, but there might be some more structural, architectural things we need to think about. So that's one thing. And related to that, I think, and probably some of the same bugs surface there, is the stability issue, that sometimes it just doesn't work. So I don't know if that's related directly to duration, but we keep getting reports from people who are downloading Nephio, trying it out, and you get like a complete, so it might be related to a timeout somewhere that we're just not catching in the logs. But, you know, even our end-to-end tests sometimes just fail and we just accept it, right? So it's like, so these two things are intolerable. So I think we need to focus on both of these and kind of maybe look at what issues. If we solve both of these issues with Godin, I think that's already a really great release for R3.
Yeah, I think it's probably, we'll
yeah.
probably have 2 or 3 of this list of absolutely must fixes. And that's probably all will be, like, it's 6 weeks. How much will we be realistically be able to get done?
Yeah, I think if we solve both of those in the 6 weeks, I think we should pat ourselves on the back. That would be great. Yeah, that would be a great step forward. Yeah. Or at least make them better. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, but but even if it's a nasty fix, you know, that we say, where we have to do things that are, you know, not good practice. I mean, we know we're going to come with the architectural cleanup later anyway. So
yeah. So
sorry, Peter.
The answer is yes.
We do.
Yes. That was awesome.
So I wonder, Liam, should we go maybe, so we know that's like the baseline that we all agree with. Do we want to go more on the list and see if there's like surprises or things that we should take in?
Absolutely. I mean, let me just sort the list. I put some filter on this now. Sorry, that was type, wasn't it? There was filtering on there. Okay. Let's go full screen. Yeah, there's a few duplications, and actually there's 2 new issues as well from Nokia that came in since this list. So we've got the list isn't even complete. But okay, is that sorted alphabetically now? Okay. It's it's not. Sort A to Z. Okay. Right. Do we just step through these one by one, or do we? Yeah. I'll just see and see if so the columns here is just the type, and then the possible fix release and whether it's important for us to fix now. So they were the 3 things we were. Is that okay for everyone? That, you know, is it important to fix? What type of is it an enhancement or a bug, and when we think we need it? Sorry.
Which one?
Yeah, but priority is do we actually, priority means do we need to do anything, you know, do we need to do something with it, or do we just wait for the re-architecture, you know? The second one is just its type, you know, whether it's an enhancement or a bug. And then the third one was when ideally we would like to get it, you know. Do we need, you know, there might be things about update, for example. Do we need it to be fixed? Yeah. Do we need it now? No, because it's version 1 of the system, so we don't have anything to update. Okay, so the
Things will be low-hanging fruit, so even if they're not high priority, but they're fair.
exactly. Yeah. And there's a few here that if we had new people coming in, there's a few, easy first, or good first issue type things as well. Like there's a few things around the CLI. Okay.
But maybe that's a column type to add something simplicity or easy to fix, or maybe something else, low hanging fruit.
Yeah, I think we have some of those in the comments section as well. Okay, so implement package dependency. We'll keep going until the end of this session, and then we'll stop and we'll just start again the next time. Okay, implement package dependency controller. Re-architecture, yeah. Break the one-to-one is re-architecture, I'd say.
This label, I don't think that this is Porch. This is a Nephio issue.
Okay.
Porch doesn't have a repo class. It's a open. Repo cluster.
No, it's the way that we are using. I think this is related to the way that we are using because we decided to do a single repo and we merged it there, right? So it's basically if you change that part, you can break this. But it has nothing to do with Porch
Yeah,
necessarily.
exactly.
Yeah.
So right now in Porch you may have multiple repos synced.
But it's a big one, this one.
It is, yeah. Okay, the next one is sorry. I could do with somebody with something. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Kieran is reduced to being a microphone stand. Okay. The next one is just I think this is one of John's epics about doing package set. So I think this is an enhancement and part of the architecture.
Yes, yeah. I might still work some issues.
Okay. Enable Nephio controller to provision GitLab repositories. It's an enhancement. Is that part of the re-architecture? I guess so.
There's also another Porch issue, I think, because, and I don't think even we have to do anything for this.
We might if we want to improve performance. So if we want to, okay, you can pull.
So you can pull the Git repo, or you can take advantage of the APIs of various Git servers. So we can say that we know how Git can be asked for to be notified if something changes in a repo. So we don't have to pull it, or even if we pull it, we can do it less regularly. And it is not about that, but it can be about that. Integrate with the GitLab API to make the polling a little bit less frequent and get a notification when something is changed in the repo.
For example, what in my implementation I didn't need, I saw you because what is bad about it is that every Git implementation you have a different API, so you need to integrate with everyone, right? So if you look to my refactoring, because or at least that's how I did it, is we are in charge on putting the data there in a lot of cases, right? So if you assume that all the updates you do from the from the port side, right?
Yes.
Then you don't even have to pull.
But that's a big if. I personally push into Git that not via Porch. So
yeah, originally.
Create a draft, and then I just push my changes into manual changes
via human
to a package. Yes.
I mean,
that's yeah. So I actually do this sometimes.
Okay. I think it's not for
it's an
enhancement. We don't have to.
Yeah. Approval controller improvements. I'm not sure what that is actually, so let's have a quick look at it.
Again, do this after This will change a lot.
Okay, so this is an enhancement on it.
Yeah, I honestly, I want to re-architect that. I don't think we need a separate approval controller. I'm kind of upset that that's even a separate thing. I think it could be as part of the reconciliation process, as soon as everything, some things, yes, but this is like another delay. Anyway, this, yeah, it's not even worth discussing right now, because if it works, I do think there's a bug, right? I think we've seen places where it just doesn't kick in, and that's part of our bug, right? So it doesn't matter if it's a separate controller, or if that's where the bug is, we'll have to fix it where it is. Yeah.
This has nothing to do with the approval.
You don't think it is?
No,
Okay.
it has to do with the fact that we have all of these things in parallel, and all of a sudden, when the approval sees it, it's no longer okay, and then he doesn't do the job. So it's the result that this doesn't work is because we have all of these different things going on the package, and at some point the condition is gone, and then the approval controller, when it looks at it, so that's the reason why this doesn't work all the time.
Okay. Okay.
So it has nothing to do with the approval controller, but it has to do with the fact that the conditions are sometimes gone crazy, and as a result, the approval controller, when it looks at it, it sees that it's not yet ready, and he will not approve. I've looked into that, but I don't know the root cause. But I know the symptom, but what is causing it, I don't know. But that's what I've seen when I was debugging this.
So this is related to the kind of big ticket bugs.
Yes, yeah, this is yeah.
Okay.
I don't think the approval controller is a problem. It's basically the rest around it makes the approval controller not be able to do his job.
Yeah.
I think it's actually, so it's probably actually related to 462.
But I think if you fix the high, because this is related to the long time, right? So what is happening sometimes, because we have all of these different independent things, what is happening is that these conditions change, right? So, and as a result, that's the reason, in my view, why it takes a long time. So, and that's also why the approval controller doesn't. So if you solve all this,
so if you solve 462, this is probably.
if you solve the high,
Yeah.
For which one?
Yeah, I just clicked on the 46. That's the one that it's related to. We're on 398.
Yeah. So if you do 462, I think you'll also
Yeah, so
fix 398.
I just put a
So
I put a reference to it there. Okay, next one is package content is erased when the package is cloned.
Before moving to the next one, I think improvements is very generic. So hopefully in the description, specify what are the expectations or what are the improvements that we're looking. I mean, that approval control improvements. I mean, at least from the description is very, very ambiguous, I guess. So hopefully,
Sorry.
yeah, I mean, improvements for me could be like having more login, or could be reducing the time, or maybe adding more code, or
Nicer color.
yeah. So
Yeah. But this is the issue. The actual issue is here. So it's
okay.
So it's he's talking about here initial proposed, deletion proposed. So some of these you have to look in the text, and some of the important ones as well have very, very terse descriptions. If you know, they were kind of placeholders for people who knew what the system was. So we may even have to go back to the original team to know what they were.
I think we're saying that we're not looking to do any improvements, but if we do fixes, we will do fixes. And if they end up actually improving, that's good. That'll contribute to this issue, but we're not going to target this issue directly, probably.
No.
Right, yeah.
Package content context is erased when the package is cloned. So
That might be a problem.
So
It's unusable, so don't use it.
Yeah.
Package context is unusable. Package context today, it's broken completely. So you. So yeah, you want to get rid of it.
Yeah, exactly. I think from the package variant, because it is broken and people waste a lot of time trying to make it work, just remove the feature. It doesn't work right now. Maybe if we redesign Porch, we can make it work, even though I would argue that package context wasn't meant to hold package specific configuration. You can do config injection and other things for that. So I think they should just remove from the package variant.
I think package context you get from kept. So it has, so in other words, you have to remove it from kept. But so that's a completely different conversation, I think. So the way I look at this is just don't use it. Just write it, create a bug to say,
We should have a documentation fix then, maybe.
yeah, because I think you have to remove it from kept and stuff like that.
I don't care if it is there. I just want to remove the feature of package.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah,
Stuff
yeah.
into the package context, because that is the thing that doesn't.
Agree. Yeah, so that would yeah, yeah. Okay,
Because how it works.
that would solve it. Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Because it deletes the pattern.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I have that. It probably should
Remove from package variant, I think, is a better way to
remove from-
remove package context from package variant. I think that's
Yeah.
that's probably the best way to. Correct. Yeah. That's probably the best way to. Yeah.
Exactly. I came up with this after wasting the whole day. Of course.
Okay, 4.6.
Trying to make it work. No. Okay.
Okay, 4.6.2 is I think this is priority. I think we'll actually introduce a third category here, which is kind of urgent. If you agree with that. So this is one of our top priority ones. Yeah. Okay. We don't need to say any more on that. Porch migration to Nephio. This is John's Uber. This is okay.
I'm just gonna stand around here. and move. Yeah, this is done.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, next one, port package variant bug, internal error occurred, error applying patch conflict, fragment line does not match source line. Yeah, I've looked at this a lot. This is on the updates. When you use update, it's not even possible to, every time that you run it, even the very same conditions, it will either work or it won't work in one way or won't work in another way. And you can run it 10 times, and in the 10 times you get there's no consistency whatsoever
Yeah.
in the way that it works.
I've seen it too. This is urgent.
Yeah, I think it's too hard to fix. But anyway, it's to do with the tasks. The way that the port seems to keep track of its of what it's done is it keeps patches in tasks, and then it tries to unwind them.
Yeah.
And if there's the slightest difference in the new package with what the old package thinks it should be before they update, even it just breaks.
So yeah.
So no.
Does this mean that we are using patch in the package variant controller, not server-side apply, but actual patch, the patch verb?
It's a Linux patch command. So each change has a patch generated, which
It's not
reverses that
HTTP
change.
patch. It's if that's what you're thinking. It's not RESTful patch.
No, it's with the go client as an operation.
It's not that.
No, it's in the server.
No. Yeah. This is actually file patches, like to apply the diff. Yeah. Textual patch.
So if something even slight, like, so if you actually say change a value in one of the on an existing, it can't cope with you changing the value between say your blueprint and actually what's in the deployed, because it actually undoes the thing, and then you do reverse a patch, so you change your deployment 3 times. That's not on mine. It must be on that. Anyway, you can just imagine how that is.
So whether we want to or not, this is urgent, and
I don't, but
I know you put a lot of effort. Let's try to put more effort and try to figure out.
Yeah, but I think I don't think the way that they're doing it will ever can be fixed. That's
I
the
mean, we
problem.
might need to change direction, right?
Yeah.
Some sort of
Well,
workaround.
the other thing it is update. So what I thought maybe we can do is, even if we use YQ or YTT and put them into some sort of, have some sort of controller that kicks those off or to do updates as a dirty hack just to get us past for, update. Then
Yeah,
do we need updates do we need really good updates in the first 1 or 2 versions? If they're just demos, maybe we can live with
Well,
this.
we
till
don't want
R4.
things to break. That's
Huh?
it, so even if it doesn't work great, we don't want
Yeah.
things to air out and just not work.
But this doesn't
Yeah.
work at all. But it's also it has also been found on the copy. Is it the there's an edit command or a copy command as well, and there's another issue that came from the kept dev pile with it's the same it's the same thing that it's the same process as failing. So there's actually a duplicate or it's a duplicate bug here for that as well. But this is you spent a fair while on the no, was it you? Yeah, you spent a fair while trying to get this working as well, didn't you?
Yeah, but absolutely not remember because it has not even an idea about that it is trying to merge JSON or like YAML files.
Yeah.
It just like it's not even. I think it's not even as smart as like it auto merge. Like it's even like. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So maybe we need to rethink how the whole thing works, but
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like this is I think part of the KPT, but actually Porch has all the KPT library. Actually we can say that okay, at least 2 JSON merge.
Yeah, I mean, we can work around that and not use kept. We can do something else instead, maybe.
And even if we have to keep it the task thing, that we just do a different task that works better than what this is. And the other thing is, the more changes you have, the more times you change things in your deployment, the worse this gets, and the more likely it is to break. So look, we'll see. We'll look at it.
Yeah, but I think it's urgent, whether we solve it or not for R3, I don't know, but at least maybe we can have a better understanding of why this happens and try to design something. Because even if we refactor and do something else, we might take our design and implement it. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one. This is definitely major surgery because like what like Helm and Kubernetes does, that they know the JSON schema. Like you can inline on how like lists should be replaced or extended. You can tell that is part of your like custom resource or whatever, like custom resource definition on what should be the operation for that specific list whenever that gets updated. And if you are not running a patch operation, so it can compile three-way merges. It can compile the strategic merge patch or whatever the name of the thing is to do that. So without like, and that's a fundamental problem with KPT, that it is just like it needs to work without schemas practically. It does not have access to it, and that's.
But it doesn't know anything about the semantics. Like sometimes lists you append, sometimes you override, and in the same schema it might be different things. For some lists are treats as set. So it's kind of the I have my own code that deals with it, and it's for merges, and it's
this is really easy to reproduce. And if you look at the description, Then the next from 471, I actually this was a small thing I discovered a long time ago, but I pushed a change for this, so it's done. The next one we're actually looking at this. This was the one you raised.
No, I don't think that this was my thing, but I think we ported this over or something like that. But
this is.
Catalin is working on this.
Catalin's working on the fix for this, so he's going to bring in Cert Manager to handle the. We're going to try and bring in Cert Manager. We're going to keep the problem is the self-signed cert. Where this showed up was we tried to install Porch on a namespace other than Porch system, and then this showed up because the self-signed cert has the namespace hard coded in it.
I don't think that this is the same thing.
But then we did with that. Then we discovered this where you can specify the self-signed cert. I think has Google.com as the authority, and so you can use it in a test environment, all right. But in a production environment, you can put in your own certs. So we're looking at bringing in Cert Manager. Fiki, you're up to date on this, aren't you? You want to get the mic there?
Sorry, I'll do the run here.
No, yeah, I think it's just it's the validating webhook that's using hard coded. That's hard coded within the Porch API server. So that's been replaced, or that's been abstracted, if you like, out.
Okay.
Plus the SSL, but that's
And we-
kind of separate issue.
I think that we'll have two packages then for installing Porch, development one, and then where you don't have to specify cert manager, and a kind of production one where so we contribute both of those. We'll contribute a production one for Porch into the catalog where you have to specify the certs in that.
So I didn't look at this issue, but it's, we're using Go Git, right? The library to access Git, and whatever you define in the repository should work. So, but you're saying that if you use self-signed certs, it
This is on the
refuses.
API server. For the,
This is a different one.
I'm confused. Yeah,
Okay,
what's
let's
the
have a look at it.
relationship? Because Porch accesses the Git.
Yeah, this is not the.
this is on the API server.
No, this is the certificate of the Git server.
Yeah, it's, okay.
No, is this a different one? It is.
So this is accessing the catalog, right? I imagine. Yeah, I'm not sure what the issue is because where Porch just uses Go Git, which is a pretty good Git stack client written in Go. And you give it whatever certs, it should work. Yeah.
No, this is a different one. Sorry, no, this isn't the one that we're working on. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I don't know what this is.
Can you specify CA or repository? I don't think so. I think it just pulls the default.
That's one of the issues that doesn't have the sense of the private issue. So there's no sense in the repository. You just have a secret.
Oh, so you can't define a CA?
Yeah, you can define a CA.
Okay.
or Porch itself.
So that's a feature problem, right? That the CR doesn't let you do that. Yeah, I don't think it's, the stack should let you do that, but I guess we just don't, nobody thought of editing. Okay.
Okay, this is.
I would call this maybe an enhancement, but yeah.
So it's an enhancement. This. Yeah.
Yeah, because it seemed like the issue is that we don't support, maybe not self-signed SSL certs, maybe it's about your private CAs.
Yeah, probably.
I think so. Yeah. Because I do use it with self-signed certs all the time. That's what we do in dev anyway. So that works. But yeah, but if you want approval with a CA, maybe there's no way to define your own CA.
Right. Do we still need it for R3?
I don't think so.
Okay.
My opinion
So-
here, but yeah, this is like towards production level stuff, right?
Okay, if it's an enhancement, I'll just take out the RF. Okay. Gate access parameters do not follow changes in Porch repository object.
That is working, but it's fine. Right? So basically, if you change the Git access parameter.
I will spell this out. So basically, if you change the Git access parameters in the repository object, like you add the secret, for example, or things like that, then it will be not be, so, and the query of the repository will still fail. It will not be retried.
So you need to delete it and recreate it rather than change it. Is that what you're?
Sorry?
You need to delete and recreate rather than change.
Exactly.
Okay. So this is a bug fix in R3.
We can live without this. It's not, don't think it's that is a
Okay. Package.
So I think we can, today, I think we can err on the side of maybe adding more things to urgent, and then we can remove them later on if we see. This might be pretty simple to do. It just might be a retry. It might be just bad code in terms of the error handling,
So we put this as urgent then.
I don't know. To me, that seems like a serious usability issue, but I don't know. There might be other opinions. Yeah, maybe.
But you've
I
got
mean,
no
I guess
yes
if you
in
get a
urgent.
clear error, then you'll just retry, right? So, okay, yeah.
But is it urgent or is it just yes? I mean, you could leave it as.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Okay, we'll just leave it as it is, okay? Porch package revision resources, use care and content as instead of, this was a.
Yeah, this was mine, and
This is a Talon Vim discussion I think you've been on for
yeah,
a
this is
long
a
time.
lot, this is absolutely not required. Yeah, this is
Okay. That's part of the, yeah, okay.
this is a very stylistic personal preference issue. It's
Yeah, allow,
Three of us had three different opinions.
I think it has various interesting implications, but it's
Okay.
definitely not
the next one, allow configuration of an external webhook and its associated certs in the Porch API server. Is this the one I thought we were talking about earlier? This is it, yeah. Okay, I wrote this, but I wrote this, but. Yeah, this is the one.
So the issue is because you said you.
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
So
It's
you.
much smaller text on the big screen.
So the thing is that, so this one, Liam, we had a similar debate in the config or in SDCIO. So we decided to use Cert Manager, but not be completely dependent on Cert Manager. For example, if you go to OpenShift, you just set an annotation and you get it. So there is, depending on the environment you're in, you might want different options because not everybody will use Cert Manager. So you see, so there is, which is a bit of a challenge. But so like in OpenShift, basically you just annotate once and you get all of it out of the box. So whereas otherwise you have to install it and stuff like that. Now I think Cert Manager is well adopted, but it's not always adopted.
I think the plan is to have a dev package and a production package, and the production package would have your Cert Manager dependency in it. But the plan was to abstract that. So at the moment, I think the Porch webhook server defines the webhook internally, hard coded, and the plan is to bring that, abstract that up into YAML, and then allow the user then to either use dev or production package. That's the plan, and obviously then CA as well, so you can get your certs from Cert Manager.
And I guess if they're using a different way to get certs, then they could create their own package.
Well, you can just install them manually. You don't need Cert Manager.
Yeah, those are
the challenge here is that the challenge here is that if you're only depending on Cert Manager, if you go to environment A or B or C, so I think the way we approached it is I just want to share what we basically said. It's an option. So basically, you can use Cert Manager. If you go OpenShift, you do this. If you do this environment, you can build your own cert. So you basically give options.
But I think
You see?
the code,
But it has nothing to do with the code. This is just when you install Porch, you have to basically get a cert, right? Because today it basically skip verify, right? So it's basically you have to get a cert. And what we decided to do is we basically said, okay, if you want Cert Manager, here is how you do it. If you want OpenShift, here is how you do it. If you want this, here is how you do it. So you give all these options.
I want to suggest this isn't urgent. I think we should move it to the security team to look at this closely. And also, I absolutely love Cert Manager and wish it was just included in Kubernetes by default. I think it's one of the best controllers out there. But yeah. But
there's a few other small things around this. If the search directory existed but didn't have any certs in it, it wouldn't start either. And so we fixed up a few things around there. Okay.
Well, if it's documented that for now we need it, then it's okay. Yeah.
Porch consolidation FRG. That was the kind of epic thing I wrote. Okay. Porch function runner is reclaiming all pods in the Porch FN runner namespace. Is that one of yours, Lisa?
Yeah. I wrote that one. So it doesn't care about annotation or anything, but it just assumes that namespace is extra. Or functions, and it just very just wipes the one namespace. So
I would call this urgent.
it's like a one-liner.
Yeah, it's probably not a big thing to do. I generally think we're going to have to work a lot on the runner. I think that's a place where a lot of the slowdown happens. why it takes so much time. The runner is expensive. This is kind of a complicated side of how Porch works. You know, there's a special gRPC server here, and how they wrote their whole scheduling basically algorithm. Exactly. Yeah. It's a pretty complex part of thing, and I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
people, we're at the end of this
Oh,
section.
yeah.
So I know we're having such fun doing triage, but
Yeah.
HT session is coming up
Yeah.
now, so
Yeah, we'll continue next week. It's just in the meeting. What do you think? Yeah.
We should follow everything that is there. I need to think and decide.
Is this good, or are people getting worn out by going issue by issue here? I don't know.
You can do it in between, so you can talk about your issue and then we can talk.
Yeah, it's been a long week. I don't want to force people to go over an Excel spreadsheet here if there's no patience for it.
okay, so we stop it there for now. Oh, yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, and I'll just see if I can figure out in
You're up to row 21, I guess, in this filter.
I'm just going to try and put a.
I
Put a
kind
different
of feel like we
color
have the
or something.
guidelines, like, I know not everybody's going to make the meeting for the platform team, but I feel like you guys trust us in terms of what we're trying to achieve here, right? We're really focusing on the most urgent breaking stuff. We don't want to waste time because we don't have the resources on features. And, you know, if there's something a bit more controversial, we'll raise it in the main SIG automation meeting and kind of get feedback from people on what you think.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Well, we didn't classify any as urgent because we wanted the community to do that. So we've two now. So the first one is the package approval time, which is a big thing, and then the second one is this Porch function runner reclaiming all the pods in the namespace. So.
Just one thing, we marked a lot of like discuss and see if this is needed, like practically new feature requests, like that might be that we need a bigger form for that, and that could help to rush through that in like 15 minutes or so. I might be bringing this up late, but I think that would have value. I don't know.
No, sir.
Yeah.
I bet.
Forgetting. I'm a very bad fan.
But I can hear you all pretty clear. Just think that one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
Ah, cool. Yeah, but I said everything that I wanted. I just said it.
Lucas, let's
If I may, I just want to ask one question quickly, you know, that's why it's ran and game. So Iski, you mentioned, I think, 500, yeah, no, it was below the 532, I believe. No.
oh yeah, this one.
Yes. So this, it means if I make any change in the upstream Git repository, let's say Free5GC catalog repository, if I make any changes in the package and I redeploy the package, but it takes from the previous commit, but not the newer commit. So I have to remove the repository and recreate the repository.
No, this is not about.
It's not that one? Okay.
Repository object or repository attribute?
The repository object in
Seems
Porch.
like Porch ignores changes to the.
Exactly. So for example, because whenever I made changes, let's say, yeah.
I mean, you
It is about that. So it is, if you create a repository object, Porch will go out and try to fetch the package revisions. It will fail because you forgot to add the username and the token that it is needed to access the repo. Then you realize that you modify, you update the repository object, and it will just never go back and reread the repository. Or if you change the URL, the Git URL, it will just not act upon on that.
Because this one also, I didn't find that in the list, you know, because This happens a lot, that we make a change in the upstream Git repository and then we redeploy the package after deleting it. The changes are taken from the previous commit of the upstream Git repository, not the new one. So what we have to do is that we have to remove the repository,
one
like
there for that?
kubectl delete the
Where's
repository, blah,
Simon?
blah, and then redo it. Sorry? Yes, so that's another issue. So we have to add that in the list here. I'll do that.
Yeah, I think the confusion is coming from that we have another repository object, the Nephio repository object, that is represents a Git repo. And that is about that.
Porch has a repository object.
Yes.
Dixie has a repository object.
And Nephio also has.
Yeah.
So, and this is about the Nephio one.
Like when you do like kubectl get repository, it's that one. Yeah. There's the object Nephio.org, yeah.
Okay. All right.
So I think I'll
Yeah,
open
there's-
that separately.
There's a few issues on the list about repository registration and unregistration, so we probably have to look at them all and make sure we have everything covered. But it's better, Sagar, to put it does not put an issue in, and if it's a duplicate, we'll mark it as a duplicate. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll cede the floor to Isti now. By the way, we talked yesterday about